Hello and welcome to the Important Site series by Shikra Academy. In this Important Site series, we are discussing all the environment related important sites in all the states of India. So in our series of discussion, in today's session, we will be discussing about the important environmental sites that are in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Now talking about the important environmental sites, so these sites include the tiger reserves that are in the state, the elephant reserves if any, the biosphere reserves, the Ramsar wetland sites, the World Heritage sites that is the natural World Heritage site or the mixed World Heritage site, the biodiversity heritage sites which are declared under the Biological Diversity Act of 2002, the marine protected areas, the national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, conservation reserves and community reserves. And these all are declared under the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. So before starting the sites, before discussing the different sites, it is my immense pleasure to inform you that we at Shikra Academy are launching our foundation batch for the UPSC CSE candidates of 2026-27. The course will be containing of a live and recorded classes, the current affairs coverage, the CSAT preparation, your study material resources, subject-wise full-length test series, the essay writing and the answer writing, all this all-encompassing course at just rupees 75,000. The course validity of will be for 12 months and the batch starts at 4th of September. Similarly, for the aspirants of the Telangana PSC Group 1 and Group 2, we are launching another foundation batch. It will also be consisting of live and recorded classes, the complete Telangana and national current affairs coverage, approximately 400 number of classes, subject-wise full-length test series in exam-like practice for both prelims and mains, simplified study materials, resources that are curated for the Telangana PSC. And it also includes the answer writing as well as essay practice, all this encompassing a wholesome package at just rupees 50,000. The course validity will be for 12 months and the batch will start on 4 September. Starting with the first environmental important site in the state of Uttar Pradesh, that is the Dudhwa National Park. Now it is located in the Lakhimpur Kheri district of Uttar Pradesh and it lies along the Indo-Nepal border in the Terai belt of the Himalayan foothills. So the Terai belt of the Himalayas, which consist of the lower Nepal or the upper parts of the state of Uttar Pradesh. This is a very highly biodiversity rich region and it is highly forested region as well. And in this we have the Dudhwa National Park in the Lakhimpur Kheri district. It is part of the Dudhwa Tiger Reserve. Okay, so this Dudhwa Tiger Reserve along with Kishanpur and the Katarnai Ghat wildlife sanctuaries. So all this Kishanpur Wildlife Sanctuary, the Katarni Ghat Wildlife Sanctuary, the Dudhwa Tiger Reserve, all this encompasses the Dudhwa National Park. And it is drained mainly by the Suheli as well as the Mohana rivers, which are tributary of the Ghagara River, which ultimately is a tributary of the Ganga River. Now, when we discuss about the geographical features of an important environmental site or a protected forest or any of the site, the name of rivers that passes through or that makes boundaries with that particular national park or the wildlife sanctuary is of immense importance. So here we have the Suheli River as well as the Mohana rivers. Then discussing the type of vegetation, it has the moist deciduous forest with the dominance sal. Sal tree is the most dominant species of tree. And the other tree species includes the teak, jamun, shisham as well as asna. Discussing about the wildlife in this Dudhwa National Park, because it is also a tiger reserve. So the flagship species here will be Bengal tiger and the Indian one-horned rhinoceros, which are reintroduced from Assam and Nepal. Okay. Please note that one-horned rhinoceros was reintroduced in this region because they went extinct. The other mammals include deer, that is the Barasinga, which has the largest population here. So Dudhwa National Park across the country, it has the highest population or the largest population of the Barasinga or the swamp deer. The sloth bear are there, leopards are there, hispids and hares, hispid hares are also present. It has 450 species of birds, including the Bengal florican, along with the migratory birds from the Central Asia. The reptiles here includes the ghadial as well as the mugger crocodile. Now it is part of the Terai arc landscape. So as discussed earlier, it is part of the Terai region and is important for ecological connectivity. The Barasinga conservation story, because the largest population of Barasinga is located in this Dudhwa National Park. So it has a success story of the conservation of this Barasinga, or that is the swamp deer. And it is a habitat of the Tharu tribe, who practice agriculture and have deep cultural links with the forest. So after the rivers, the second most important thing that one must keep in mind is that the tribal groups or the local communities that live in that particular forested region. So here Tharu tribe is the important tribe. Then it is crucial for floodplain biodiversity conservation of the Gangetic Plains. Next we have is the Pilibhit Tiger Reserve, the second important site. It is situated in the Pilibhit, Lakhimpur Khedi and the Bharuch district of Uttar Pradesh, and it also lies in the Indo-Nepal border and is a part of the Terai Arc landscape. It is spread across along the Sharda or Mahakali river and its tributaries. So the important river here is the Sharda river, which is also known as the Mahakali river. It is rich in alluvial floodplains, the grasslands as well as marshes of the Terai region. The type of vegetation here is the moist deciduous forest are there with the dominance of the sal trees, or so just like the Dudhwa National Park or the Dudhwa Tiger Reserve, the predominant species of trees in the Pilibhit Tiger Reserve is also the sal, and it also has large patches of the tall grassland just like the Dudhwa National Park. The flagship species here is also of the Bengal tiger with a healthy breeding population. So a healthy breeding population of Bengal tiger or Indian tiger is present in the Pilibhit Tiger Reserve. The other mammals include leopard, swamp deer, that is Barasinga, wild boar, nilgai, hog deer, and spotted deer. It was declared a tiger reserve in the year 2014 under Project Tiger and forms a part of the Terai Arc landscape, which is critical for the tiger dispersal. So so here also we have Uttarakhand. So Terai region is also in Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, and the uh, country of Nepal. So in this entire Terai region, so all these becomes a constituent or important parts. The Dudhwa Tiger Reserve, the Pilibhit Tiger Reserve, they form a part of this Terai Arc landscape, which is very critical for movement of tiger population across the different regions. It provides ecosystem services like groundwater recharge, soil fertility, and flood control. So these are the ecosystem or ecological services. It is inhabited by the Tharu tribe, which has unique forest-based tradition. So Tharu tribe for the Dudhwa Tiger Reserve also is inhabited by the this Tharu tribe, and the Pilibhit Tiger Reserve also is home to the Tharu tribe. Then we have the third tiger reserve, that is the Ranipur Tiger Reserve, which is situated in the Chitrakoot district of Uttar Pradesh. So it is located in the southern part of the state of Uttar Pradesh. So it lies along the border with Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh near the Vindhyan range. Okay, so the geographical feature here include the presence of the Vindhyan range or the nearby of the Vindhyan range. It is spread across the Vindhyan Plateau region, and the terrain is rocky outcrops, seasonal streams, and dry deciduous forest tracts. It is close to the Cane River basin, and Cane River is a tributary of Yamuna. Okay, please note that Cane River is not flowing through this tiger reserve, but it is situated in the proximity of this forest. Then the type of vegetation here we have is the tropical dry deciduous forest, which is dominated by teak, hair, salai, and palash trees. It is less dense compared to the Terai forest of Uttar Pradesh. So in the northern part of Uttar Pradesh, we have the Terai region, which has high density of forests. And in the lower Uttar Pradesh, or in the southern part of Uttar Pradesh, we have the forest in the Vindhyan plateau, and here the forest density is low. Now discussing the wildlife here, see the flagship species here is the Bengal tiger because it is a tiger reserve, and it was recently included in Tiger Reserve network. Population disperses from the nearby Panna Tiger Reserve in the MP. So in MP here we have the Panna Tiger Reserve, and the tiger population moves between this Ranipur Tiger Reserve as well as the Panna Tiger Reserve. Other mammals here include the leopard, sloth bear, spotted bear, blue bull, that is the nilgai, sambar, and wild boar. It was declared Uttar Pradesh 50. It was Uttar Pradesh says third, UP's third, and India's 53rd tiger reserve in the year 2022. It acts as an ecological link between the Panna Tiger Reserve and the forest of the Bundelkhand region. So this region is also the Bundelkhand region. It supports the Bundeli tribal communities with their traditions deeply linked to the forest and wildlife. Then we have the elephant reserve, that is the Terai Elephant Reserve. It was declared in 2022 as India's 33rd tiger reserve, elephant reserve. It is spread across Dudhwa as well as Pilibhit district of Uttar Pradesh. So it also lies in the Terai region, and as the name suggests, it is part of the Terai art landscape along the Indo-Nepal border. The geographical features here includes that it lies in the Terai floodplains. The major rivers that flow through this elephant reserve are the Sharda, Ghagra, Mohana, as well as Suheli. The terrain includes the marshes, grasslands, swamps, and moist deciduous forest. So the type of vegetation here, just like the Terai, other forest of the Terai region, is the moist deciduous forest and dominated by the sal tree. So this entire Terai region, the predominant vegetation here is the moist deciduous forest, which is dominated by the sal trees. Then discussing about the flagship species here, the flagship species is of Asiatic elephant because it is also a elephant reserve, having the resident as well as the migratory herds from the nearby Nepal. The other mammals here includes the Bengal tiger because of the presence of the Dudhwa Tiger Reserve as well as the Pilibhit Tiger Reserve, leopard, swamp deer, barasinga, hispid hare, and sloth bear. The significance of this Terai Elephant Reserve is that it strengthens the elephant corridor conservation in the Terai region of UP. It acts as a critical link in the Terai Arc landscape corridors between Nepal's Sukhla Pantra as well as the Bardia Reserve. So it ensures a smooth or facilitates an easy movement of population of elephants between Nepal as well as Uttar Pradesh. It supports traditional communities like the Tharu tribe. So this Terai region, please note that the important tribe here is the Tharu tribe. Then we have the Gharyal Rehabilitation Center, which is a biodiversity heritage site. And is the only biodiversity heritage site in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Now, the biodiversity heritage sites, unlike the other protected areas, they are declared or they are recognized under the Biological Diversity Act of 2002. Now, this Gharyal Rehabilitation Center, it is situated in the Chambal River Sanctuary in Lucknow. It is established near the banks of Chambal River, which forms the border of Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and the Uttar Pradesh. So it is situated in the Chambal River Sanctuary and it is established near the banks of the Chambal River. Now, the important point about Chambal River is that it forms a border of Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Uttar Pradesh. Geographical features here includes the Chambal River, which is a perennial river and a tributary of Yamuna River. The terrain here includes the deep ravines, sandy banks, and freshwater river stretches. The type of vegetation here includes the dry scrub and riverine vegetation along the Chambal ravines. So the Chambal River is very famous for its ravines, that is deep valleys. Talking about the wildlife in this Gharyal Rehabilitation Center, so the flagship species will be of Gharyal, which is a critically endangered crocodilian species in the country. So it becomes very important. Other species also includes the crocodiles, which includes the mugger crocodile, the turtles, that is the Indian soft-shell turtle, the red-crowned roof turtle, dolphins, including the Gangetic River dolphin. It was established in 1975 as one of the first centers in India for breeding and rehabilitation of gharials. It was declared a biodiversity heritage site of Uttar Pradesh under the Biological Diversity Act of 2002 and plays a key role in the ex-situ conservation and restocking of gharials. So it is important for ex-situ conservation. And it provides awareness, ecotourism, and research opportunities in the freshwater biodiversity conservation. So the important points here to note about this Gharial Rehabilitation Center is that the flagship species is of the gharials and gharial is critically endangered and it lies along the bank of the Chambal River and It is the only biodiversity heritage site in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Then let's discuss the important Ramsar sites and the bird sanctuary. So first we have is the Sandi Bird Sanctuary. It is situated near the Sandi town in the Hardoi district of Uttar Pradesh. It lies on the Miran River, which is a tributary of the Gomti River. Okay, so it was declared a bird sanctuary in the year 1990 and covers around 309 hectares. It consists of mainly shallow freshwater lake, that is the Dehar Jheel, and surrounded by marshes and agricultural land. So here we have a Dehar Jheel, which is an important wetland. And therefore, this site is also an important Ramsar site and is a declared bird sanctuary in the year 1990. The important river that flows through this region is the Miran River, which is a tributary of the Gomti River. The type of vegetation here is the aquatic and wetland vegetation with the marsh grasses, reeds around the lakes. The flagship species here is of the Saras crane, and please note that Saras crane is the state bird of the Uttar Pradesh. The other important birds here includes the painted stork, the black-necked stork, the grey-lag goose, as well as the northern pilltail. The migratory birds arrive mainly from Siberia, Europe, and the Central Asia, and it is also an important stopover or layover for the Central Asian flyaway. It was notified as a Ramsar site in the year 2019 and as important staging wintering ground for the migratory waterfall along the Central Asian flyaway. It supports the local fishing communities because of the presence of fresh water, and it provides ecosystem services like flood buffering, groundwater recharge, and nutrient cycling. The next bird sanctuary we have is the Nawabganj Bird Sanctuary, which is situated in the Unnao district of Uttar Pradesh and lies in the Gangetic alluvial plains. It was declared a bird sanctuary in the year 1984 and is centered around a shallow freshwater lake surrounded by marshes and agricultural land. The type of vegetation here includes the aquatic vegetation. The flagship species will be of the migratory waterfall from Siberia, Central Asia, and Europe. The birds includes the grey-lag goose, the pintail, as well as the common teal, pochard, coot, the open-bill stork, and the painted stork. The resident species includes the Saras crane, which we know is the state bird of Uttar Pradesh. It was notified as a Ramsar site in the year 2019, and it is an important wintering ground for migratory birds along the Central Asian flyway. So both the Sandi Bird Sanctuary as well as the Nawabganj Bird Sanctuary both were declared as an Ramsar site in the year 2019 and are part of the Central Asian Flyway. It provides livelihood through fisheries, ecotourism, and wetland agriculture and faces threat from the encroachment, pollution, and eutrophication of the lake. Now, all the major Ramsar sites in the country, majority of the Ramsar sites in the country, they face, because they are mainly lakes, so they face threat from the encroachment, the pollution, the urban encroachment, and the eutrophication. That is because of this pollution from the fields, okay, or the runoff from the fields, the nutrient-rich runoff which gets deposited, which gets filled in these lakes. They they initiate or they enhance the process of eutrophication. The next bird sanctuary we have is the Saman Bird Sanctuary, which is situated in the Mainpuri district of Uttar Pradesh and lies in the upper Gangetic alluvial plains. It was declared a bird sanctuary in the year 1990, and it is a shallow oxbow lake and associated floodplain wetlands formed by the old meanders of the Sot River, which is a tributary of the Yamuna. So, Sot River, just like a river in its mature phase, it meanders a lot and ultimately leads to the formation of oxbow lakes. So, this Saman Bird Sanctuary consists of such an shallow oxbow lake, which is formed by meandering of the Sot River, and the Sot River is a tributary of Yamuna River. The type of vegetation here includes the aquatic vegetation and the marsh grasses. The flagship species here also includes the Sarus crane, and the other birds includes the grey-lag goose, the pintail, the gadwal, the common teal, just like the Nawabganj Bird Sanctuary as well as the sandy bird sanctuary. The significance is that it was designated as a Ramsar site in the year 2019 and serves as an important wintering and staging ground along the Central Asian flyway. So all the three bird sanctuaries that we have discussed till now, that is the Sandi Bird Sanctuary, the Nawabganj Bird Sanctuary, as well as the Saman Bird Sanctuary. So all three were declared as a Ramsar site in the year 2019 and are an important staging ground along the Central Asian flyway. Then we have is the Samaspur Bird Sanctuary is situated in the Raebareli district of Uttar Pradesh and lies in the Gangetic alluvial plain. So it is situated in the Raebareli district and it was declared a bird sanctuary in the year 1987. It is a natural perennial wetland. So with the multiple interconnected lakes and marshes fed by monsoon and groundwater. So no major rivers are associated with this Samaspur Bird Sanctuary. The type of vegetation here includes the aquatic vegetation and the marsh grasses. The flagship species, just like the other bird sanctuaries, includes the Sarus crane and the migratory ducks and geese. And it was designated, just like the previous ones, as an Ramsar site in the year 2019 and is an important wintering ground for the migratory birds along the Central Asian flyway. So all the four bird sanctuaries that we have discussed till now, that is the Saman, the Sandi, the Samaspur, as well as the Nawabganj bird sanctuary. So all these four bird sanctuaries are a part of the migration route along the Central Asian flyway, and it supports the local livelihoods through fishing, grazing, and agriculture. Then the fifth bird sanctuary that we have is the Parvati Arga Bird Sanctuary, situated in the Gonda district of Uttar Pradesh and lies in the Terai region of the Gangetic Plains. It was declared a bird sanctuary in the year 1990 and comprises of two oxbow lakes, that is the Parvati Lake as well as the Arga Lake. And these are formed by meanders of the Ghagra River. So the intense meandering of the Ghagra River made two oxbow lakes, that is the Parvati Lake as well as the Arga Lake, and both of them constitute the Parvati Arga wetland site or the Parvati Arga bird sanctuary. The type of vegetation here includes aquatic plants including hydrilla and the marsh grasses. The flagship species here includes the Sarus crane, which is the state bird of the Uttar Pradesh, and the migratory birds including the grey-lag goose, pintail, gadwal, the common teal, pochard. The aquatic fauna also includes the fishes, amphibians, and reptiles. It was declared a Ramsar site in the year 2019 and is a critical stopover for migratory waterfowl along the Central Asian flyway. Then finally we have is the Bakhira Wildlife Sanctuary. So it is also a Ramsar wetland site. It is situated in the Sant Kabir Nagar district of Uttar Pradesh and lies in the eastern Gangetic Plains near Basti. It was established as a wildlife sanctuary in the year 1980 and it is centered around the Bakhira Tal, which is the largest natural floodplain wetland in the eastern Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so Bakhira Tal is a largest natural wetland in the eastern part of the Uttar Pradesh and it is fed by the Kuano River, which is a tributary of the Ghagra River. The type of vegetation includes the aquatic vegetation, including the hydrilla and the marsh grasses. The wildlife here includes the flagship species includes the Sarus crane and the migratory ducks and geese. Sarus crane, so just like the other Ramsar wetland sites and the other bird sanctuaries in the state of Uttar Pradesh, the Bakhira Wildlife Sanctuary also has the flagship species as the Sarus crane. Sarus crane has the flagship species and it is a state bird of Uttar Pradesh. The birds includes the grey-lag goose, the bar-headed goose, which are the migratory birds. The significance is that it was declared a Ramsar site in the year 2022 and acts as a major staging and wintering ground for the migratory waterfowl along the Central Asian flyway. It provides migratory livelihoods and for thousands of people via fisheries, lotus cultivation, and reed harvest. Now, the conservation challenge or the threats to the Bakira Wildlife Sanctuary, just like the other wetlands, includes the eutrophication because of the excessive uh, use of fertilizers and the fertilizer runoff from the fields into the lake, the overfishing by the local communities, the siltation, and the agricultural runoff, which leads to eutrophication. So, agricultural runoff is also kind of a pollution.